Oh my God.
Oh, hello everyone. My name is Darren. Yay, fun stuff. Hello everyone. My name is Darren and welcome to another DaraChat. I am with Crash Jester, whatever he likes to be called. So we were fuddling around a bit beforehand with technical difficulties, and it seems I'm having a bit of a technical difficulty of my own because YouTube unfortunately is not getting the signal. So, and I'd have to stop and start over again. So, unfortunately, not going to do that. But if you're on YouTube, I am going to upload it on there later. So, just to be kind, but I don't know why it's not showing up on the YouTube side. So, oh well, I guess right now. But anyway, I'm glad for everyone who's here, and I hope we'll have a great time. So, welcome, Crash. How are you today? You were. I just heard you come through the microphone earlier. So, oh, you don't. You're not sure why it's not. Your voice is not coming through. Oh, well, I can't hear you. So, technical difficulties, everyone. Technical difficulties on either end. Technical difficulties on one end. Because I hear you moving. I hear you like shuffling your stuff around. Like I hear you shuffle. I can hear you shuffle, but I can't hear your voice. Yeah, which is weird. So. But yeah, so this is going to be an interesting day. It's going to be an interesting day indeed. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that opening video. I just like that one because of it being like a combination of Whose Line Is It Anyway, and what is it, and the Counters of the Third Kind, and so that was sort of like I think there's only one album and then that song and then that's it. So it's been a while since Pogo's been on. So, but anyway, so are you still able not to say anything, Crash? Oh, hold on. Yeah, no, I, I can't hear you. I can't hear you come through. But when you shuffle your thing around, I can hear the shuffling, but I can't hear you. So I don't know why it's picking up when you move something around or when you move the yeah, when you move something around, I can hear it, but I can't hear you. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Uh, so I wonder if it's sorry guys. I know this isn't the greatest way to begin with, but but yeah, I don't know. I know you were playing around with it earlier, and I could hear you before, but it was coming in and out. And right now, it's just you when you move, whether it's the camera or your phone or whatever. I can only hear that. I can hear the movement, the shuffling, the whatever, but I can't hear your voice. Your voice is not coming through. Like you can say the alphabet, but you're not. But it's not. Nothing's coming through. It's just the shuffle. It's just when you move the phone or whatever you're holding is the noise is coming through that, which is weird. Yeah, like I can hear that, but I can't hear your voice. I don't know why YouTube is weird. Hmm. Oh, this is gonna be a fun day. Fun day indeed, but we're gonna have a good time with good artists. So, let's see. How's everyone in chat doing? I know there's not a whole lot of people here right now, and I know we're kind of just trying to figure things out. Um, well, on the studio, right? You see that microphone icon. If you click right to it, it'll give you a list of microphones to go through. Is there how do you like one or two or whatever? Because you might have picked the wrong thing to have your voice, whatever, go through. Oh, yeah, yeah. I still can't hear what you're saying. Still can't hear. Well, anyway, well, I think it's kind of figured out. Um, I can't remember how it is. I met you. I know it's from Twitter X, but I can't remember from what end I found you on. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Mm. But it's one of the things. But yeah. Um, but you're saying you're on your phone through this, right? Okay. I still okay. Let's see. I can hear your. Sorry, guys. Sorry. I know this isn't exciting, but. Hmm. Bum bum. Bum 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 bum. Some things go right and some things go wrong. Pretty sure my voice is on. I better check. I better check first. Yep. and I accidentally muted myself. Why is that? Why is it a thing that you accidentally mute yourself? And like, come on, because I've done that a few times before. So, okay. I'm trying to figure out what we would do just to get this figured out. It looks like anything too is right. Fine.
All right, let's see if that works.
I hear you. I hear you now.
Wow, so I have to use my earbuds to do this. All right, screw it.
Yeah, it was just I could only hear you moving your thing around, but I couldn't hear your voice. So I don't know why it was just picking up your shuffling.
Asian difficulty meet white boy difficulty.
Yeah, we made it. Now I just got to figure out why my YouTube site is giving me the craps because right now it's nothing showing. So unfortunately, sorry, YouTube. But well, glad we were able to figure it out because yeah, after a while it's gonna be like monkey see, monkey do. But welcome, Crash. Welcome. Glad we can finally hear your voice.
Yeah, you know, like I've to be fair, I've seen worse boomer tech ops back when Ethan Ralph still had relevance.
Yeah, that's been a lot of that stuff going around on the internet, just one way or another. So I don't keep up on that stuff, but
no, you know, it's the terminology. It's called dead air.
There, yeah. Hey, I try to keep it going. Try to have fun with it to some degree. But yeah, no, it's just technical stuff. Like it happens. Like you hope it never happens, but it happens. You're like, oh, Lord,
The
please.
worst part is I tried both phones.
Yeah.
This is the older one.
Yeah.
So like it's the same phone. It's just like a newer year. So like I don't know what's going on.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, do you?
Yeah.
But
The one weakness Motorola has.
so
You know,
do you?
aside from not being Nokia.
Yeah. Well, Nokia had it stay in the sun, and now it's more of like just a ghost in the wind at this point. No one knows
Yeah,
what
they
happened.
still make phones. They just use a different company to do it.
Oh, okay. Well, I just don't
Yeah.
hear about them much, so that's just one thing. Because Nokia used to be the
Yeah.
phones that were that used to be like the indestructible phones. Like you could just throw that sucker against a wall and it'd be fine. Those black phones. Those were the days.
Yeah, no, they used to make boots too.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, you know, like I'm kind of a YouTube Shorts addict, so like sometimes I'll pop up in the videos, like I'll see like Fredo on TV, Stephen He, and it's this one Christian guy who's like he does lore dives on companies, and he just like does it back and forth with himself, which is like, what'd you used to make? Military weaponry.
Goodness,
It's always military weaponry.
it's crazy. Yeah,
GE makes tanks. Verizon. There's even German tech companies that make horse equipment.
horse.
And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay. All right. I can see what kind of horse equipment you're going for. Uh, not sure. Yeah, best leave that out to pasture, as they would say. But wow, yeah.
That's fitting. They're called Siemens.
And now we're there.
Yeah.
So, but do you make content yourself? Because I can't remember. I know it's through Tutor X, but I can't remember where I first saw you because you seem to know a
I
bunch.
have been on Twitter for it's been about 7 years now. I have a YouTube channel, but I don't really use it except for comments.
Oh,
I've been trying to get into the Rumble stuff, but I don't have the resources right now, and that's part of the issue.
yeah.
Everything I'm doing right now,
Mhm.
it's leading up to doing Rumble. So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, and that's understandable, right? Like I didn't think I'd have the equipment to do it because I've built my own PC, and so it's always difficult to like what do you need in order to do this stuff, and it's not like you need like the highest graphics card or whatever. You just need a good CPU and some other stuff. But yeah, I've been doing this for at least the live streaming part for a good 9 to 10 months now, at least. But it's about you just you just have to find your groove in it, really.
Yeah, for me, it's more of I need actual income because
Yeah.
the IRS is not my friend.
I hear that for a lot of people. The IRS is not a lot of people's friend. It's
Oh
usually
no,
more.
like I had a temp job about a year or so ago,
Yeah.
like before my current job. I
Yeah.
got laid off in February,
Jeez.
and then about a month or two out, like I was
Mhm.
still looking for work. So I get a job at a fiberglass factory. That's where I am now. I've been there for about 9 months,
Mhm.
and now I'm like I had to call the IRS a couple weeks ago actually because I had to call them directly to get the tax return, the most recent one filed, but I still have to get my one filed from like last year.
Jeez.
It makes no sense. It's extremely stupid, but bureaucracy.
Yep. Yep. Yes, indeedy, and it's and everyone just loves having to have to deal with it. Like um, I take no exceptions. I give a little more. I have them take out a little more just because I don't want to deal with. Like there's one. I think there's 2 years I owed something, and owing a couple $100 is not a fun time. So yeah, I feel your pain, but it's it's just another hassle of being an adult, really.
Yeah, well,
Just another
I
hassle.
don't know. Like perhaps there is some way for me to start doing it, like with just phone videos, because I've seen other creators do it. The Beamer Fry does it. Jeremy
Mm,
Pierce, the YouTube Gamers, does it. I mean, car video.
mm. Yeah, I've seen him do
That's
that
what
too, Viva Fry. Yeah. Um, I'm trying to just tell my YouTube side, so I'm gonna have to shut it down because unfortunately it seems like my live streaming point is not working over there. So I'll have to shut the YouTube stream down and just kind of upload it later. So all the things a content creator has to do. But so, but like I was saying, you were connected to a bunch of other people. I can't, or at least you follow a bunch of other people, and so I've just kind of saw you at one point. It's like, all right, let's see if he wants to come on because
Yeah.
I'm not too exclusionary. It's just I'm not in it for like troublemakers, or whatever. Because people who just want to bring down this stuff or don't have a conversation, they're like, you can stay over there. It's okay.
Oh yeah, no. My follow count, it's like about as twice as much as like my actual followers. I bounce
Mm,
around. Like I dipped a little under 700 last week. I think I haven't been on Twitter in like the past 10 days. I don't really pay much attention to it right now because
mm,
I've been I've been kind of burned out from you know watching all of the chaos in the political sphere because of the people I follow. Tim Pool,
mm,
Viva Fry, obviously. David
mm.
Fryhart's great. Benny Johnson,
Yeah, Benny Johnson. I've heard him too. Yeah.
because I know him from Tucker Carlson because Benny Johnson used to work for the Daily Caller.
Oh, really?
Tucker co-founded the Daily Caller with like some other guy, but he left when his primetime show got off the ground before he
Yeah,
got his infamous Fox News firing.
yeah. The Fox News kind of just threw him out, and but it's one of those things where I mean he's up on his feet again, Tucker Carlson. So that's something.
Oh
Uh,
no! Like the funniest thing is like he didn't waste any time because like as soon as he got kicked, like Greg Green was already working for the Daily Wire. I looked at his history. He was already working for the Daily Wire because he doubled up. So he was working for Fox News and Jeremy Boring.
mm,
So I'm guessing Tucker went through some sort of back channel and then he just went to Elon Musk, asked him if he'd mess with his Twitter account. Elon said no, and then boom, within about a week or two, Tucker on Twitter.
yeah. No, but he's all. But again, Tucker's also on Rumble and some other places as well, other than Twitter, of course. So, as a content creator, I've always been about trying to um, trying to multi-stream because I don't think it's helpful when you just stream to one place. I mean, I understand why, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like you kind of limit yourself, and you really shouldn't. So
Well, yeah, because I mean, you're trying to divert traffic from another site instead of trying to get the best audience possible. It's kind of figuring which card do I play here.
okay, so that's done. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, And for me, it's like I know my complaint has always been about that regard with multi-platform, or whatever we won't call it, because I've seen too many YouTube creators. They get demonetized, they get this, and then all of a sudden they're like, they go to YouTube support. It's like, oh no, help me! Oh no, this or that, and I'm just like, but you put all your eggs in that one basket, so it's like, yeah, that's not good. And
I wouldn't trust YouTube support anyway, because of the people over the years I've seen like some of the worst responses have been from YouTube support. The
yeah,
quartering, the quartering's covered a lot of this stuff. Uh, YouTube really does not like using humans to review stuff. They
yeah,
just use bots. They
yeah.
just use bots.
Yeah, and and you can tell just by the way they respond too, right? Like their response is a very what is it? A very sort of robotic thing, like it's like a this already made up generic statement, whatever it is, and it's like, well, can I talk to a real human? No human exists here.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's they basically have a chatbot. Like, and because they have a chatbot, sometimes they get dogpiled by people you wouldn't expect. I've seen people from different sides of the political sphere jump on YouTube support because an innocent creator got hurt,
Yeah,
and the people there, like these replies, like the original post, they could absolutely hate their fucking guts in this to do it. I mean, it's insane. Like
yeah.
the one thing that unites everyone: hatred of social media platforms.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I'm not gonna say Twitter X is not exempt from that either. So,
Oh
I
no, I'm my biggest criticism of Elon Musk is the people he surrounds himself with. Ian
yeah,
Miles Chong, Gamergate. Enough said. He was
yeah,
one. He created two of the founding feminazis of Gamergate:
really.
Zoe Quinn and Brianna Wu.
Yeah, I've seen that name before on Twitter X, but I've never I've never dived into it. I've always heard about
Uh,
Gamergate, but I never dived into Gamergate. So,
I'm actually mutuals with a man named Andy Worski. Andy Pierce. He's from Canada.
oh
I
wow,
actually got him through the kill stream
oh, the
because he
kill
used to
stream.
be a co-host with Ethan Ralph.
Oh yeah,
He co-hosts. He currently runs Kino Casino with PPP, or at Power of the Truth on Twitter.
oh okay,
Andy could tell you a multitude of things about his time working with Ian, because Ian has screwed over a lot of people. The most
right.
recent thing I believe he's done, aside from trying to steal a story through Rebel News,
Mm-hmm.
about 2 months ago, there's a woman named Anna Slots. She runs a website called Redux Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
He tried stealing a story from her within like the first 20 minutes of it being uploaded. And if I remember right, Anna was so pissed about it, she IP blocked Malaysia. Not Ian, Malaysia.
Jeez,
The entire country.
wow, that's that. When you go hard, you go hard. Jeez Louise, that's
Because it's even like I even reply to it it's typical that Ian Miles Chung is continuing to be a fraud. It's the only thing he knows how to do. He his origins before Gamergate, he ran this site called he helped run the site called Game Ranks, right?
mm-hmm.
He was also Terminally Online. He was a Reddit mod. He was one of the original Terminal Reddit mods.
Oh,
The reason he got in trouble with Game Ranks, this is the start of his descent into darkness. He was forcibly diverting Reddit traffic to Game Ranks. Not only that,
mm-hmm.
on Game Ranks, he was forcing his own posts, his own articles up. There's a website called Deep Freeze. It's all visible there,
Yeah,
and it's not completely credible because it's kind of a satirical website and there is graphic content on there. Encyclopedia Dramatica. I don't know if Adrian Blair still runs it, but
mm-hmm.
they have like dossiers and everything. It's like it's a somewhat more sanitized Kiwi Farms,
Mm-hmm.
because at least you don't have to worry about anything extremely graphic on there.
Yeah,
But some of the stuff I've seen on like I don't have an account, but I've seen some of the stuff on those forums that makes a man question its existence.
Yeah, well, I've heard, you always hear lots of stories about kiwi farms. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's sort of like, but again, he, like you said, he surrounds himself with like these people that don't. Again, his choice for CEO was probably not a great choice because she is in charge of the arena, and yet people keep forgetting that Elon said, freedom of speech but not of reach, and then I think she did that whole lawful but not awful stuff, and I'm just like, once they say that, they're not gonna. That whole free speech thing is just a front. I mean,
The worst part is I've been paying attention to the congressional hearings because since I have a lot of free time at work, I usually just watch those. Like
yeah,
I just like listen to the live streams of them.
like the C-SPAN stuff.
Either C-SPAN or I go to the YouTube page Forbes Breaking News.
Oh, okay, okay.
So like, they usually have all the hearings. There's a new version of something called the Restrict Act. You might have heard of it. Senator Mark Warner put it up last year in March.
Hmm.
So basically, it's an expansion of the Patriot Act with a new sinister twist to it. It
Hmm.
creates more regulations in another government agency. They're going to use it. They're going to try and put this in to replace Section 230.
Hmm.
Not a lot of people have covered this because it hasn't really come up much. But Lindsey Graham, it was in a hearing where it was the hearing where Josh Hawley he just roasted Mark Zuckerberg in front of a bunch of parents whose kids had effectively been victimized as a result of
Hmm.
well, one could call it poor parenting or just Facebook being predatory. Personally, I think it's a little bit of both. But when Lindsey Graham opened his mouth during his 5 minutes, he basically said he was drafting a new version of this specific bill with
Hmm.
Elizabeth Warren.
Ooh, that's I. Yeah, I'm not a political person by any nature because I don't. I I don't care. I mean, you kind of have to because it's part of the ingrainment of it. But at the end of the day, they're all just pointless spaces where it's just tags for the team. It basically what it is. It's just tags for the team. They're not really
Yeah,
solving
but
anything. From
yeah,
that's just my point of view though. So,
yeah,
but
to
yeah,
the
I
extent that they're always untrustworthy. So
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, again, I know that it's important to the degree because it's sort of intertwined, but at the end of the day, you have a lot of complainers, but not a lot of doers. And that's the difference between fixing things and just letting things go into the beyond. And we seem to like going letting things go into the beyond. So,
yeah,
but but
yeah, I didn't really should be into politics because I'm from Wichita. Like I'm a Kansas boy,
oh wow,
like through and through. So like
nice.
I didn't move to Pennsylvania until 2022. Like right after my birthday was the day I packed everything into a Jeep and just left. I had to leave my '06 Dakota behind. I
Mhm.
missed that truck.
Wow.
So yeah, I basically hit the reset button on everything. I didn't find a job for about 2 months, and that was before got laid off and was trying to get more work. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, and the unemployment system sucks because they here in Pennsylvania they use ID.me,
Mhm.
one of the glitchiest websites known to man. They make you use it uses facial recognition, and because I did it on the mobile version,
Yeah.
it would constantly refresh. It made the entire registration system pointless
Mm-mm.
because they have no cybersecurity for their mobile client.
That's
So
I the only time I ever had to go on unemployment, and my thing has always been trying to avoid that, was when the COVID stuff hit. And of course I was furloughed from my position because I wasn't essential. But parts of the place I was at was essential because it was like a car dealership, whatever.
yeah,
But so I was furloughed for like a month, and of course that extra bit was nice on top of the um, money you get from them. But the thing was, like, if you didn't have that extra bit, you could not survive. There was no way I could
yeah,
survive a whole month, and
yeah.
I tried to avoid that very heavily.
Oh yeah, I know. Like it's like when I during the pandemic, I was actually working the entire time. Used to flip burgers for a living. Actually, I still have well, I have pictures of the hoodies from my Twitter page. I used to work for a joint called Bionic Burger. 2.5 years, kept a roof over my head.
Yeah.
Went from $9 to, by the time I left, 13.
Nice.
Very slow advancement, but I had no choice but to stick around. All things considered, I'm pretty sure I can make a burger about 25 different ways.
Yeah.
And charge you 50.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, right? It's like there's like raised minimum wage or whatever, but then I saw like there was like a McDonald's or someplace in like Texas that was going like full robot or whatever it was, or at least a majority of it. And I was like, wow, well, I guess you don't have to worry about that raise.
Yeah, I know. Like, I remember when people actually, like Elon, were talking about automation in certain industries, like to cover the cost of, like, hiring employees. But that kind of creates a divide because when you automate something, you're kind of crippling the workforce, because while the company's making a profit, if all you have is some guy to come in, work on the machine so it just keeps doing whatever you need it to do,
right?
So you don't have a physical employee there. That kind of, no job market.
Yeah.
You might have people who deliver it, but I mean, eventually you might automate that too.
Well, I mean, you have to kind of figure majority of stuff we have technology-wise has given that, right? Like when the car first came around, like Henry Ford, he had the assembly line, and then after that is sort of all close to automation. You have stuff like you just have other things where the technology gets interesting enough that people are just like, oh well, we'll see what that does, or they get interested enough, and that's just going to be it, right? Because there's not a way to put that genie back in the bottle. Technology advances and human curiosity advances with it, but the thing of it is, right, is that a lot of things get left behind. Like how many people are out there and their total job is being a candlestick maker, right? Or their total job is being a blacksmith, or whatever. Those jobs, some of them, I mean, there's blacksmiths out there, but they're so low. And then you have like candlestick makers is sort of like, unless you're like Yankee Doodle or whatever that store is, you're not really on the old time express. So things change over time, and you can't really. It's just finding a way around it, and people themselves are going to have to figure out how they're going to survive that future, because it's going to happen whether you like it or not. I mean, one person against a corporation. I mean, unless you're like some sort of thing that'll put them in jail, it's not really going to work out well.
Yeah, but to an extent, I get where you're going with this. There's always been a sort of established slippery slope.
Yeah.
The question is, how far will you go off of that slope until you crash? Say, something backfires in a certain type of industry and it just wipes it out of existence.
Well,
that probability is always there, because like the more you automate something, the more risk you come with it, and then you just kind of reset it back to using physical workers again.
Right. Yeah, because there's again, you're taking it to an extreme, because a company will always want more profit with little, because that's what they operate on, is profit and greediness. But yeah, like you said, but it's just, again, it's just with the technology, like how, from the extent of the blocky cell phone, right? Like that huge block you had to sign a year. Now this, I mean, that's just the extent of our adventure through that. And same with the robot stuff, right? Like I know people say AI, but the thing of it is, it's like it's not truly AI. It's some sort of, there's a language learning and this generation, all that stuff, but it's not really technically AI. It's just, man, maybe that IBM Watson thing, but I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah, and we can sit here and all day talking about like chaotic, AI going wild, chemicals actually turning frogs gay. It just wouldn't get anywhere.
Okay, Alex Jones.
That was if I remember right, that was a study from an Ivy League university.
Yeah, it was about a chemical that was like for
It was a byproduct of chemtrails, because it was coming down from the flights over the campuses.
Yeah.
Because like for like the flight paths. Like it was either Harvard or Yale. It was flyover territory, so the chemicals just leaked down, got on the water supply, and the male frogs started growing female genitalia, so they became hermaphrodites,
Mm.
and they also got increased sex drives. The whole thing was it's wacky, but you know, Alex Jones.
Yeah. Hey,
I don't
people
like them chemicals.
people thought he was crazy, but then again, he wasn't wrong either. I mean, there's some things he might hit or miss, but majority of the time he's been hitting it right. And it's funny people can still call him a conspiracy theorist, and yet here he is. He's saying something that's more truth to, and you're like, he's still got some things. He's still got some things right here. So what are you going to disagree on? Like your government's against you. All this. Now I'm not sure about like vampire trolls or whatever, but I mean, you're probably not too far off.
Yeah, it's there's always going to be like the crazy stuff that's there and that nobody's going to touch
Mm.
because there's some things even Alex Jones won't touch. Like that time he had Kanye West on and he was just sitting there just completely stunned, just like,
Yeah, yeah,
"You actually believe this?"
yeah. That was an interesting time. I was like, why would he? I think it was because he was running and he wanted, some people looked at.
No, the way he characterized it was a walk to the White House. A walk? But you couldn't even crawl to the primaries.
Yeah, he never made it. He never even made it to that point, and that's the thing, right? Because partly could have probably been blamed with the people he surrounded himself with, but the thing it was is he never made it to the next step, and it's like, wow, he really went off the reservation. But he still talked
And then
about though.
the weirdest part was later on, he went with, unironically, "We was Jews." Why would Kanye West do that? I don't know.
Hmm.
He just, I mean, you've seen the "Das Right" memes everywhere on the internet. It felt like he was building up to that, like with like the cross chain and everything. I was expecting him to just go full insane, and then he just kind of stopped right there. It was just, well, sounds like Ye got conned.
Oh, whoa. Well, I mean, he has a new wife now, so I think he's all right.
I don't know, like that. I don't think his marriage with Bianca Censori is gonna last. It's not my place to say. It's not my place to care.
Yeah, I
Because
understand. I understand that feeling, but it's just you
you
kind
know,
of just sit back and watch it and have a laugh.
yeah, there's been so much as far as celebrity lives go. Apparently, Alex Jones's ex-wife
Mm.
broke the restraining order that she put on him,
Hmm.
or like there was a restraining order like in between the two of them, and she broke it, and she got arrested right outside the Infowars studio in Austin.
What?
I think it was like 1 or 2 weeks ago.
I didn't hear anything about that.
Because I follow like about almost 1,500 accounts. Like I get an extreme amount of news.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't followed that crypto scammer Mario in the fall.
Yep, that's another one of Elon's circle jerks.
He's never going to apologize to Christopher Zakrzewski. I'm like the when you brag to the guy who's running a social media platform that I'm going to sue this guy into the ground for everything he's got and then some,
Mhm.
and then just like unironically think that's a good idea to say right as the YouTuber you're trying to go after files a very successful lawsuit. Actually, I'm pretty sure he won. I don't think Upper Echelon ever went into specifics because he
Mm.
did an update. He did an update last month. The
Oh.
lawsuit's over,
Mm.
but he just didn't elaborate on anything. Like someone needs to interview him and ask him because I'd really love to know exactly what happened during in the court case because he said everything's good and done. He can talk about it, but that's
Yeah.
about all I know because that was a hot story for about 2 or 3 weeks. Because about 4 or 5 YouTubers were covering the fall,
Mhm.
and it just spiraled to the point where he started a false copyright strike on
Jeez,
their YouTube channels,
that's interesting.
and he gloated to Elon specifically about Upper Echelon because Upper Echelon's Twitter account was also deleted around this time.
Jeez.
It's still not back up.
Yeah, I had my original account suspended, and I was given no reason of why, and I asked, and they kept giving me the same generic answer. So I'm like on my 11th or 12th appeal, still the same answer. Good thing
Yeah,
I was
I've made
able.
like 4 or 5 alt accounts over the years, but I've
Yeah,
always had that same Twitter account. Like I made it in 2012. It was under a different handle,
yeah,
and then like in 2019, I got back on Twitter
uh-huh.
because I made this account when I was like 13 years old.
Wow.
This is kind of a running thing. Like I made this back like when I was first getting my email and everything because like back then Twitter was relatively new.
Mm,
It used to be just celebrity content, TV shows, everything.
right.
That then like I get onto Twitter about 7 years in. The the thing that got me on there was it was either the quartering or it's a Gundam.
It's a Gundam.
He's so hateful.
Yeah, no, it's a Gundam is great, but he kind of limited him. He was one of those people that kept getting hit by YouTube, like he was their page boy, and he's finally. I think he's a few episodes in, but he was finally streaming to Twitter X, and I'm like, why did it take you so long? After all those years of being demonetized, of being hit by YouTube, of having to say the no, whatever. It's just like, why did it take you so long, Gundam? Why?
Because I know he streams occasionally with Ziltix on Twitch,
Yeah.
but
I've seen that. Yeah.
yeah, like the thing, like, well, I'm pretty sure Rumble was around, back in those days.
Yeah, it just wasn't up to par as now, and I know a lot of people have tried to tell him, but he's sort of like wistful and does his own thing. So I mean, he could have gotten like, day one monetization, but whatever, man. He's choice. So he's at least he's at least he's putting his stuff on multiple platforms because right now
Yeah,
or beforehand, he was getting slapped around by YouTube like he was the chicken, and I'm just like, why the hell are you still on just YouTube? I'll
yeah,
never get it.
the main thing like I've learned
Hmm.
like over the course of my almost 25 years of existence,
Right.
I've you have to diversify your life portfolio
Hmm.
in some way. Like
Hmm.
not really a good not really a good way to say it. Otherwise, you kind of have to expand your horizons.
Yeah, like
Multiple
that.
multiple platforms, multiple
Yeah.
everything. That's the tune extent you kind of have to double up on shit.
Yeah.
It's you have no choice. Like if YouTube goes down, I mean, what's your backup?
Yeah, same with being on Rumble. There are people who just stream on Rumble. I'm like, I get it because you can do a lot more than you do YouTube. But my thing is, if you're only streaming on Rumble and something happens, guess what? You're out of luck. Same thing with
Yeah, my
Twitch.
father's one of those people. He used to be on YouTube. He still has a YouTube channel, but he
Yeah.
doesn't post there
Mm.
because he he's had tough times with YouTube before. I've tried asking him about it. He hasn't been very detailed on certain things because
Mm.
he never got above the. I believe he got the watch time, but he never got enough subscribers.
Yeah, for me, it's like other than the having a conversation with someone,
Yeah,
all the followers and stuff, the donos, whatever, those are all bonus, right? Because a lot of people seem to go into YouTube wanting to make it big, and that's just that's just the wrong way to go about it because it just feels like you're going in for all the wrong reasons when you should be going like, what content are you creating? Like, I came up with two questions like, what are you going in for, and what are you expecting out of it? And sometimes it feels like people are just going in because YouTube big money. If I get the what monetization, all this stuff, and I'm like, yeah, but they don't treat their creators well, except unless you're like the big ones, like I don't know, MatPat or Markiplier or whatever. But unless you're one of the big ones, they don't treat you very well. And it's just like some people just don't want to learn or don't want to multi-stream. So I'm like, whatever. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do at least.
yeah, like for example, Felix, PewDiePie, the most subscribed man, like one of the most subscribed men on the internet.
Yeah.
Felix only occasionally does videos.
Yeah.
He could drop one on Twitter. Like his Twitter account's been dead for about 8 years now. He could come back. Well, I want to say 8 years. I don't know. The last time he posted anything was when he started that meme war with T series.
Oh, I think I remember because they were like competing with his level of how many subscribers or something like that. And yeah, but well, then you have Mr. Beast, right? Mr. Beast has a lot of followers. Whew,
I've seen his ad tweets actually. He's been reposting like videos and stuff to Twitter as ads, like full on videos. Like I gotta respect it,
yeah,
because
yeah,
on one hand, I don't really appreciate seeing a 20-minute video. On the other hand, if Jimmy wants to make money, he can go ahead and do it. He's
yeah,
got the monetization. He's got the ability to do so.
yeah. He's got the following to do so. I mean, golly, he's got a lot of people that follow him. But as long as he's putting his stuff on multiple platforms, he's probably a better ahead than all the other creators because it's like, again, if you're a content creator, multi-platforming yourself is the way you're gonna have to go. I'm sorry to tell you this. I don't know you don't want to hear this, but at the end of the day, multi-platforming yourself is the way to go because one side can take you out. Or Alex Jones. Remember Alex Jones, where he got
Mm-hmm.
he got blasted by YouTube and all these other places and Twitter obviously, and it's like if that wasn't the learning sign, I don't know what to tell you.
Because yeah, no, it's why he had to create band.video.
Yeah, yeah, because I think the Infowars thing was kind of in his like his court case sort of thing, like he was getting sued for oblivious amount of money, which just doesn't mean anything. It's just to hack him off.
They're
But
still trying to take that money from him. By the way, they're the court system and all like it's. I want to say it like wherever the district court is
mm,
that the case is being held in, they're still trying to get the money from him. I don't
mm,
think it's going to happen
mm,
from one reason and one reason alone. It's Alex Jones.
yeah, the name lives on. Yep, he's a
I
force.
mean, like he could drop off like at any time. I think Rex could pick up the slack because he's old enough. He could probably start hosting.
Mm, yeah, that would be interesting. But yeah, you're not wrong. Like Alex could just disappear, and you'd be like, okay. But I think because he's talked. I think he's talked like multiple times. Like he feels like he's at that point where he's done enough and all that. But I think he just likes it too much of what he does because he's still the top tier well known, even if it's in a controversial sense. It's sort of like he's still well known, and sometimes people don't give that up so easily. I'm not saying that would be him. I'm just saying when people are in that regard of like, was it fame or whatever it is, it's kind of hard to give that up because if you don't have fame or whatever, during a period of your time, you will slowly slip into the ghost part of your life. Like people, if you don't have family or friends, you're gonna be a ghost to everyone else, the exister, right? And so that's just what it seems like for majority of people after a certain age is that they just move into this ghost feature, and they don't get unless you make friends or whatever. It's just you sort of just ghost to the world, except for the government, of course. They don't.
Yeah, like aside, like because like I live like in this house right now because my father owns like this house and the one that he has his farm at.
Mm,
That they don't have crops yet, so anyone live there. I don't know the whole
right,
reason for that, but
right.
like right now, my brother, my
Mm,
niece, my sister-in-law, and me in one house. It's not crammed,
mm,
not cramped, but you know that's the ghost phase for me right now because I went from being at wit's end, paying bills and everything
mm,
every month to sure I have to pay bills. Like I have to cough up rent every 2 weeks. The bills
right.
are covered,
Yeah.
and I'm slowly building up money. But I still have like when I left Kansas, I was like 8 grand in the hole, and I'm still paying the two guys who helped me get that money
Right.
back.
Mm,
So it's it's transitional period.
Yeah.
But I'm more than content with being not noticeable,
mhm.
because to an extent I kind of don't want to be noticeable.
Right.
It's
Right.
kind of like the government. I prefer nothing happens
Oh,
because nothing would mean progress.
oh, your camera just went off. Oh, there you go.
Oh, idle. That's
Yeah.
that
No.
that was it. Just apparently that's a feature on Rumble Video. That's Rumble Studio. So
Right. But yeah, it's not bad either. I mean, you could be like the person, people don't care about what, moving through and nobody knows you. You can be that either. It's just, it just seems like from a point of period in life, you don't have friends or family, whatever, that those relationships, then you kind of move into this ghost field where, you're just kind of to yourself in that regard. And, um, yeah, it just seems like it's a natural human thing where you were great in your prime, and then after they're like, eh.
the thing is, I don't think I've reached my prime yet. Like I've already got like a plan for what I want to do.
Right.
So like these chaotic news stories, the places where all this crazy news stories happen. So like take Dalton Township, Illinois, for example.
Mm.
That corrupt super mayor. I want to go there when she's out of office and just ask them, what was she like?
Yeah.
How did it feel to watch that hearing where she's telling a board of all non-white people, you're afraid of a black woman in power? There's one Hispanic guy there, and all the rest of the trustees are black. Like, how does it feel knowing that the cops were being paid so much overtime that she couldn't afford to pay off the loans on the police vehicles?
Hold on. Sorry. Sometimes the
That's
camera goes
that.
off focus.
Yeah, like that. Those are the questions I'd ask. Like a whole format of everything. Like ideally, if I wanted to do like a long form interview, I'd want to do a poll,
Uh,
viewer questions, because those would probably be the best ones.
true. True that. Um, yeah, it's just for me, it's just been about having the conversations with others because I don't if I were to do a stream by myself, I could probably hit an hour and maybe a little after, but after that I'm just like, it's not gonna I know I'm running out of juice. Um, but I did do a solo stream by myself, but chat kind of helped me push to 2 hours. But the for me the goal isn't like how long can I go. It's like if you feel like the point of matter is exhausted, then it's time to leave. Like the organicness of it, right? Like the organicness of the conversation or whatever. You feel it's hit its point, and you just kind of like, okay, guys, it's time to go and all that stuff. And you just like, because there's got to be a point where internally you're like, yeah, this is gonna last any longer. So I can't do what those gamer streams do, where they're like 6, 7, almost 8 hours. I'm like, look, that's as long as I do for my job is 8 hours a day, and I'm just like, I don't want to do that streaming.
Like I actually double up on like I actually double up on screen time. Sorry, that's my brother in the background.
You're fine.
She just turned 3, so
Aw.
yeah. Appetite for destruction. But yeah, no, like I would so like there's this mobile game called Final Fantasy Record Keeper. I've effectively been just playing that, but the global version closed down right after I moved to Pennsylvania, actually. So I've been playing the entire thing's in Japanese. It's a nightmare
Oh yeah. No, I
because like
understand.
I have to screen cap everything and put it into the image translator on Google. So yeah,
Mm,
no, like, but like I usually double up on like a mobile game, so like it'd be FFRK, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, or Honkai Star Rail, and then I just put on YouTube content or something.
wow.
Because
Yep.
like, that's actually how I'd listen to like some of the House hearings, some of the Senate hearings, so, like anything I missed over the week, like that vote where they try to like that vote where they had to vote 4 times
Mm,
during the where they had to impeach Mayorkas. They had
mm,
to vote to bring up the idea of the Mayorkas vote again, because
mm,
the last time this happened was they voted to they voted on it. If it was a tie, the vote would have been dead.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, one Republican switched the vote because if there was an uneven vote count, you could recall the vote.
Right.
That only worked once. That was Congressman Blake Moore. Very smart decision.
Mm-hmm.
But then they had to do 3 more votes after that. Motion to reconsider.
Yeah.
Then they had to vote on that,
Mm-hmm.
and then the actual vote to go through the House floor. And even then, it was still pretty narrow because, like, because every congressional vote, at
Mm-hmm.
least for the past 3 or 4 months, there's almost always 5 to 10, 20 people gone.
Wow.
And this was the last vote that took place before that replaced George Sanchez's replacement got put into Congress. So this is probably the last time the Republicans had that narrow majority.
Mm.
So yeah,
It's a mess.
oh yeah, I saw today Trump won the nomination for the Republican primaries.
Mm.
Like the RNC just gave it to him. It's like, okay, he's got over half the delegates, just do it.
Well, he got more than I think the news was he got more than what was required. So he
got over 1,219.
yeah, I believe I saw it in the news somewhere. It's like he got over the required amount. But I mean, he was the only one running. Once Nikki Haley, I believe, left, she was the only one. So it was like you might as well give it to him anyway. But I believe he got over the required amount of what the required was, whatever the 1,200, whatever that total amount is.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it just goes to show if you pay attention, you find we're a lot more messy than we like to be. And I don't think, I think people will have to come to a point where they're left up to their own devices because it's this whole stuff, this whole system is kind of just like, it's like paper in the wind. Sooner or later, it's going to just disappear into the void.
Yeah,
So,
no, that's why a lot of countries don't understand why we have gun rights.
Yeah.
Because who's going to take care of us when the people we put in charge to take care of us aren't going to do it?
Right. Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
Hell, I bought a gun like last month before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's just like my brother recommended to get one, but
Nice.
My oldest brother, he's a gun nut. So.
Wow. So it's like you got like, would it be this one or this one? No, none of those. Don't have that one over there.
Well, that and at the that farmhouse I mentioned, right next door is the town gun club. You cannot write this. You cannot write this in a Tom Clancy novel.
You're just like, what is it? What are those guys over there?
Probably.
Sorry, I live with a lady with dogs at the side, and so get annoying after a while. But that's okay. But yeah, that is too funny. Your the farmhouse lives near the gun club. It's like,
Well, I'd much rather be in the vicinity of a gun club than live in the middle of a neighborhood in Wichita where, while I can walk to a gas station or a grocery store in about 15 minutes, within that same time, there's a chance I could get shot by some idiot with a gun, or a local meth lab explodes, and it's less than 1 or 2 blocks away.
Man.
And that's not even the worst drugs that Wichita had, because before I left, people started coming up from the border with fentanyl. KBI got like 500,000 pills in I want to say May 2022.
Wow, that's jeez. Well, there you go. And the funny thing too, right, is like, what was it? Portland, like, I think the story was that Portland legalized a lot of drugs, or a lot of different drugs. And I'm like, and their air arena or whatever is just like their people are just almost completely gone. It's like, wow.
Oh yeah, no, I think it was. I think Tyler Oliveira covered it.
Mm,
The city where every drug is legal.
yeah.
It's that's insanity. Like I thought it was crazy when I saw it on Jesse Waters Primetime, and then
Mm,
I actually watched the actual video.
yep.
I
And
can
it,
understand why Andy No doesn't want to go back there.
yeah. Or was it like Los Angeles? You see all those people just like zombies, and it's just like, wow.
Now
All
that
right.
one I knew already because of Tucker Carlson, because he did a two-part documentary on Fox Nation called Suicide of Los Angeles.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Part of the stop on crime policies in Los Angeles.
Mm,
London breed isn't the main issue.
mm,
Oh wait, no, that's San Francisco. The main problem isn't in the state. It's not in the local government. It's with the Orange County District Attorney George Gascon.
oh.
Because he's been soft on crime for the majority of the time he's been in office.
Mm,
There, like, and Tucker put these clips in. There are clips of inmates that called
mm,
George Gascon's office to get their sentences shortened from within, like, their cells.
right.
One of the guys, I think he got out within like a week, and
What?
he was supposed to get life in prison. There's videos of people there's videos of inmates celebrating when they're getting out early, like career criminals.
Oh my god. Oh, yep. That's when you know you probably should get out.
Well,
That.
you see, like it's one thing to see videos of like people just going to LA. It looks fancy. There's little shots and everything, but then
Mm,
like there's other videos where you see the dark side, and San Francisco,
oh yeah.
literal human waste on the
Yep.
streets.
Yep.
And then of course there's the feces.
And New York has giant rats and all this stuff. I'm like, wow. Oh dear Lord, these people just want to not exist anymore because that's what it
The
feels
one
like.
thing that baffles me about New York, Mayor Adams, how does this guy with a straight face say, "I want the illegal immigrants gone," and
Mm,
then you pass policies that screw over the kids,
mm,
screw over your cops,
mm,
while also being a former cop,
mm.
and also screw over the working class of New York City? What is this? What is this madness? How are you worse than Bill De Blasio? Like how?
Yeah, you know what? I think sometimes there are questions that will just never have answers because sometimes the answer you'll get will be wilder than the question you ask. So, I, yep, I don't know. I don't tell you, but I tell you what, people vote for dumb people, stupid people in. It's just amazing how that works.
Yeah,
Um,
like where I live right now, you only have to aside from the county commission.
mm,
I live in a town, so
mm,
like I could point out where I live on a map because like there's a church within about less than a block.
nice.
Like it's all like one giant corner. Everything like I could walk downhill and just go to it. You know,
Mm,
if I was practicing, but I'm not. So
right,
like I work on Sundays. Not really time for that if I wanted to.
right.
So but yeah, no. Like what normally I just vote for a township supervisor,
Ah,
and aside from that, like the local government stuff, closest thing we have aside from that, fire chief.
fire
That,
chief.
that's it.
Wow.
Fire chief, and we don't have cops out here except for state troopers.
Oh, okay. I see.
Because
Interesting.
like because like they have to go through like one or two townships just to get in here.
Jeez.
Oh no, that's fine. Because like I said, I'd rather live in a place where the only gunshots I hear are ones from the gun club.
Woo 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 woo. Oh man. That's in like fun though. It's like gun. It's like fireworks to them. It's like pew pew pew. But yeah. But anyway, so at the top of the hour, every hour, I set aside time for people to promote themselves. Now I know you said you aren't. You're kind of in the middle of things, so you're not really there. But if there's something you want to promote or people to follow, go ahead and I'll do mine after you. So if you want, you can go ahead and do that.
Well, I am. Well, I do have a Rumble channel. I just don't use it,
Hmm.
obviously.
Right,
So,
it's understandable.
like, I have
But
I have like the only videos I have on my YouTube channel are privated.
wow,
Yeah, because like they're from years ago. I just like, yeah, I'm not interested. Let's just blacklist that, blacklist that.
right,
But like I have a Twitch. I have like a lot of these platforms, but I'm usually a viewer. So like
right,
at CrashJesterTV, my Twitter account, that's probably the only thing I have that's actually got substance to it. Because
right.
as you said, I'm more of a ghost,
And
and that's
that's
how I
so
like it.
yeah, and well, not right now, but no, that's totally fine. That's just what I do when I have a guest on. Is I set aside that time because a lot of people say shill or grift, and I'm like, you're promoting yourself. Whatever you have, you're promoting yourself, and it's just like I'm just not into the negative connotations because it's like
Yeah,
it.
no, like like yeah, like I'll probably start like I can probably start doing Rumble content, but like I have to figure out how to do probably the closest thing I could probably get is reaction content with
Yeah,
I've seen the format. Like I can probably get into it at some point,
yeah,
but I've tried the whole gaming uploads. The apps they have for that, like the capture technology for them, it's not really perfect. So
yeah,
I'd
yeah.
rather just screen cap post to Reddit.
There you go. Whatever whatever works for you. Whatever because I feel like people again. I feel like people get into content creation for the wrong reasons, or they're just trying to find themselves out. Like me, I did gaming. I did like movie reviews and stuff. But once I started having more and more conversations with other people, I was like, well, this seems to be something that works, and I enjoy doing it. So why not keep doing it? And so I've kind of been like I've creators, non-creators. I've had VTubers on. There's no in between. It's just I don't care for bad actors out of the whole bunch. Like bad actors can go elsewhere. For me, it's just having a conversation about anything with other people. And so of course now I got to do my spiel. But so like before, I have a YouTube and Rumble. Of course, I don't know what went wrong with YouTube, but the stream today will be reposted up there because I don't know why I wasn't showing up, but whatever. So I'll be over. I'll open this later. But I have a YouTube and Rumble, um, and you can view me there. But I also have a fan account, Twitter X. I have a Discord, just the username to just like DM me, or I have an email. So if you guys want the same opportunity like Crash has, the door is open. I mean, the stuff is in the description below of where to contact me, where to view. Because, like for me, I have no in between. I want people high, people low, doesn't matter. Like everyone has the same opportunity except bad actors. Bad actors.
Unfortunately, you've got me sober.
Thank you. No,
Uh,
but for me, it's just like this is what I'm aiming for to do. The conversation is what I'm aiming for. Everything else follows, donos or whatever. They're all a bonus to the whole spiel, the whole thing of it. And so far, it's gone pretty well. I mean, I know there have been people who've felt like what little me? Why would you have me on? What's the point? I'm like, the point is to have you on to have a conversation. It doesn't matter if you're big or small. You're still somebody who has a brain, right? You have something. You have a perspective on the world. So that's what I aim for. So yeah, but if you want the same opportunity, you can DM me at the fan account in Discord. DM me at oh no, sorry. You can you can sorry you can DM me at the fan account on Twitter X. You can DM me at Discord at Daremoose. You can email me at crazer6 at protonmail.com, CRAZZER6 protonmail.com. There are three ways of getting to me, and those opportunity is there. So I can only show you the door. All you have to do is walk through. So But anyway, I don't know how much more time you can spare. Would you?
Well, it's Wednesday. I'm off. Like I don't go. Like they started doing some overtime policy at work where I have to know like a day in advance. Since I don't have a vehicle, my father's my only ride into work. So if you
Right,
don't go, I don't go.
right. No,
As a
that's
result,
reasonable.
I'm good until Friday, honestly.
Right. Well, I'm not gonna take you that far. I've got other people to get on, but I'm probably gonna go for another. We'll probably go for another 30 minutes, and we'll call it because just because I gotta upload this stream onto the other end, so hopefully I'll be able to get it. Um, but yeah, so it's uh, I mean, what since you're kind of on the deep not deep dive, but since you've kind of been paying attention to the political side of things, what do you consider yourself as, or anything at all?
Non-religious conservative.
Okay, like I know there's a lot of different types of things, but for me, I just don't care because I just stopped seeing the use of it. Because I it's always people who want to talk and say something to do something, but it's never people to do the action of the something, right? It's always
Yeah.
we should do this, we should do that, we should make laws. But the thing is, like, well, get on with it, right? Like, get into it and get on with it. Like, if you want to make a change, then do the work. Oh, yep. I see you, Zio. I see you. And Zio, you're the nerd, Zio. You're the nerd. Little, little nerd. Um, but yeah, it's just I can't. I used to, I think it was like one time, my dad would be like, sort of shuffling me to try to, get to vote or whatever. Like, why didn't you vote or whatever? I'm like,
Yeah.
um, okay. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm starting to see how people can feel powerless about the matter when you're kind of dealing with different perspectives of the sides of things. Like, if you want to take a vote on something, like there was a proposition I saw was like, we have the technology, right? We have all this connection and stuff. Why are we not just using that to say put a vote to something and then have it at that, where we have all these different parties and they believe supposed to serve their constituents, whatever, and it just feels like they always end up falling flat on serving. And it's just like, okay, if you want to really go to the basics of it, you're having people vote people in to positions of power that they're giving up. You're just like, do you not know they're still just as corruptible as you are, or they're still as co- corrupt? I think this word corruptible as you are, or to be corrupted or whatever. And it's just like no one, no one takes that spot because I bet you anything if they kind of figured that out, they just stop voting altogether because like what would be the point if that person's able to be corrupted just like I can? Then
Well, yeah, that's kind of the problem with our American experiment, our parliamentary process. To an extent, there will always be, the corporate lobbyist. In the case of our United States Congress, those lobbyists are everywhere, and that extends to even members, like people who openly practice religion. Because remember, non-religious conservative, so I despise the religious right. I was not a fan of Speaker Johnson openly praying on the House floor because, it's the people's house, right?
yeah.
The people,
Mm-hmm.
not God. But it just kind of felt out of place for him to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was more like, you're there as a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Go to work.
Yeah.
Don't give us Kevin McCarthy 2.0.
Yeah.
That's all I ask.
Yeah. It's just a thing to kind of sit back and look at, and obviously there's things people want. They want things better, whatever. But honestly, with you, if you couldn't take the time out of your busy life to do it, to whatever right now, then you're never gonna do it. You're gonna always be too busy trying to work or take care of your kids or whatever, and no change is gonna come because it doesn't affect you enough for that to happen. And I think right now a majority of people are like, it's comfortable to sit behind a screen and just whatever. And then after that, it's just like, we'll complain, but we won't actually get up and do something. So it is what it is.
I would do something. I do not have many resources to do it right now.
Yeah.
That's probably going to change, hopefully, by around this time next year,
Mm.
hopefully, no more crazy IRS calls.
Yeah.
Because
No.
if I have to do that, again, my my sanity is already pretty much gone.
Right.
But that's the IRS is, for a lot of people, their breaking point. For me, it's
Uh-huh.
more of just a domino that's been tipped repeatedly. It's just falling down a staircase, and there's not like it's breaking apart, but it's still holding together.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally understand. Yeah. I don't like feeling that dread every year of like, because when you get past the point, it's like, okay, we're good. And then the end of December comes, you're like, oh, here we go again. Because I'm like, when my when January starts, I'm like, I want my W-2s now. I want all that stuff now because I want to get it done now. I want to get it out of the way so I don't have to worry about it. And usually I get it done by February because it takes a lot of time for like my documents and stuff to get to me. But it's always that dread that you feel when it's time to do your taxes and you're like, let's just get this done. And if you have to go
The
to
worst part was I was using TaxSlayer, and I already got my tax return from 22 filed.
Mhm.
The reason I couldn't do my 23 one, I got one thing wrong on the entire thing, because like when I moved in 22, had to do two returns,
Mhm.
so I had to do one for my old job and one for my second job, and that screwed everything over.
Jeez.
And like it's oh yeah, I had to explain that like on the phone. Like I actually took an entire day to do it, if I remember right. It was just a nightmare.
Jeez. Yep, it's always a nightmare, especially, and again, if you're like one of those big content creators, you're always paying more because if you're like a full-time content creator, you are giving more because you're self-employed. I'm like, what? What? If you're self-employed, it should be treated sort of like corporations get because they make profit and all that stuff. But whatever, I don't know.
It's kind of a gray area, because like some of these people, like, they have their own production companies and everything. They do have their own news companies that they
Mm,
make to have that YouTube channel like tied
right,
to it
right.
for that media platform, but sometimes they don't have that leeway. Instead, they have to file their taxes. They have to go through like the social media site or
Mm.
whatever they're partnered with, and someone's got fired.
Oh,
Oh boy.
is it the monthly
Oh
special?
no, it's the town. It's the town fire alarm.
Oh, I was like, oh, this because we usually where I am at once a month they have the tornado siren go off, the tornado warning. So you have that like the first Thursday of every month, and then that's it. You don't hear it anymore. But
Oh yeah, no, it's always a it's always a pain whenever you have to do it over and over and over again, because it just normally you can do it one and done, but
mhm,
if you have to keep, like, if it's certain types of tax brackets
yeah,
and you're in these social media positions, like say you have like a few 100,000 subscribers,
yeah,
your revenue gets like taxed 4 or 5 different ways before you have to pay on it, right?
mm,
Because YouTube always takes a cut.
yeah.
Rumble, I know they're not taking as much. I don't think Rumble is taking a cut right now, if I remember right. Chris
They take it.
Tavlosky said he's still holding off on it.
The No, that's monthly sub. So when someone subscribes to you monthly, you get a creator gets all that. It's the Rumble rants they still take a cut out. So people always get mixed mixed up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, they still get a cut off the ads. They still get a cut off the Rumble rants. It's just the monthly subs. They 100% to the creator. That's it. That's the only one. So, but no, they
Yeah.
take a lesser cut. They take 20% off the Rumble rants, while YouTube takes like 30% off of everything.
Not to
So
mention all the ad jamming and everything. Like you could, like, they even do it on like if my videos were still up, they do it on mine, because
yeah.
like they if they call it cutting costs, they became the new TV. That was
Mhm.
their end goal, to become replacement cable.
Well, that's the Google thing. Like the two guys that started YouTube, I don't think that was the original idea. But once Google pennied up the money for to them, the rest of it's just Google at that point. So
Yeah,
because
like
that
we have gotten to the point where like some of the people who were in the founding days of Google like are gone. Sergey Brin no longer works at Alphabet. His wife Susan Wojcicki, she no longer runs YouTube.
wow. Well, yeah, that I didn't know that was his wife, but yeah, she
Yeah, yeah. And I think their son just died.
yeah,
YouTube
nope.
Berkeley.
Yeah. No, there was I saw that news where he was something happened that he passed away. But no, I didn't know that the Bryony and her were married. But yeah, that's sort of a nepotism at that point. But yeah, I mean, YouTube.
Oh no, you're gonna love this. Susan's sister Anne,
Mhm.
she was one of the co-founders of 23andMe.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow, that's something else.
it didn't
Yep.
even take. This is all on Wikipedia, like because it's not a completely reliable source because it always has like a far left bias to it.
Yeah.
You can get a lot of information from it though.
Yeah, no joke there. But like you said, it's like a 50-50 shot on reliability. So you're like, but yeah, no, that's interesting. And once you start going down that rebel hole, it's like, wow, they're so interconnected with each other. Why is that? Well, probably because it's partly Google, but what do I know?
Well, it's not to an extent. It's not because sometimes you do have cases where there's the family is just really successful,
Yeah.
and then there's cases where you're picking and choosing people to go certain places,
Mhm.
and sometimes they're completely unqualified. Burisma, Hunter Biden,
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Hmm.
Because sometimes you could give a job to someone and they're a complete idiot at it, but because of the whole nepotism thing, they could be in that job for like 20 years.
Yep. No, and then of course favoritism too. You got favoritism to work against you. That's always a fun one. Even in lower level jobs, there's always that one person that seems to have the ear of the one who has authority. And you're just like, how the hell did that guy or girl or whatever have that ability? And it's just like, well, um, I guess they just have that position or whatever. But yeah, there's a actual term for it. It's called the Peter principle, right? Where someone is promoted to a point where they're unskillable in the matter they're promoted to. You could look it up as well. I'm not describing it right, but it's called the Peter principle, and everyone
Hmm.
can look that up as well. And it's just about how somebody is promoted to the point of incompetency, right? Like the job they take, they're just so incompetent that you don't know how they got there, but they have it anyway. And then it's just like, why?
Oh, they're failing up the ladder. Yeah,
Yeah, but that's what I've seen it being called. It's called the Peter principle. So
yeah. That was actually a side effect of Gamergate. Because like for some reason, like these like Zoe Quinn, Feminist Frequency, these people had no business in these types of industries,
mm,
yet they still got work. Feminist Frequency only recently closed its doors after 15 years of existence.
insane.
And on the way, they killed a lot of game companies. The most recent one, or the most prominent one, Bungie.
Bungie, yeah, the Halo creator, yeah, and then Naughty Dog was like the Last of Us and all this stuff. They kind of threw that one to the door.
Yeah, the thing is, they're still around.
Yeah, but
They
for
will
how
they
long?
will they will run that Last of Us IP into the ground if they can make a few bucks off of it. I mean,
Yep.
they already have a template for it. Look at Bethesda. Every time they re-release a Fallout game or Skyrim, they just money.
Yep. Yep. Well, I think Bethesda is bought up by Microsoft. So they have
I'm pretty sure Todd Howard still runs it though, right? I mean,
he still runs Bethesda, but Bethesda was bought out by Microsoft, so it's under the Microsoft umbrella. But I think Naughty Dog is still on its own terms. But yeah, it's just like you know. You'll see people complain about it. You see people talk a lot about it, but at the end of the day, the only thing that will really matter is your wallet, the money. A place cannot operate or survive without it, and unfortunately, they might get a big PlayStation might give them some money to do their thing or for exclusivity or whatever. But at the end of the day, if people don't buy it, They don't buy any of it. But again, you can only do like a small amount. You can't do the whole because there are still people who want to buy it and stuff, and if they get enough money, it's not going to matter. So it's like you do that thing where you just vote with your wallet instead of voting with your mouth, because voting with your mouth does very little.
Yeah, it's pretty easy for me to do that because I the only console I have is a Nintendo Switch OLED, so I don't. It doesn't take much to not play a game because
Yeah.
I can literally just go in the eShop, look at them, and just like, that's new. How much? 60. 60.
Yeah, 60.
No.
Nope, not touching that. Not touching that. And yeah, it's funny too. It's like the games just keep getting more expensive. I'm like, I think it's time to let some people go.
I saw some article somewhere that Sony wants to start doing $100 PS5 titles.
Nope. At that, after this point, there'll be some people who pay for it, like the Apple iPhones or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm like, nope. I can easily go.
I saw this I forget where it was. There's this video where like it was some sort of joke video. It was like some guy ordering a burger and it's like it's $300. Would you like to do a payment plan?
Jeez. Nope. I couldn't. Once, and the same with the consoles, right? Like consoles are just. I mean, a Switch isn't that expensive, but it's still hefty, right? Like,
$500 for mine.
jeez.
Well, to be fair, well, no, it wasn't five. That was the PS5. 300, if I remember right, because this is the Switch OLED, so it's one of the newer ones. And now I hear they're making a sequel console.
Mm-hmm.
Feels a little weird for Nintendo to do that now because they've been too busy suing the crap out of all the emulator companies. Citra just went down last week.
Yeah, I heard about that. Was something about Citra or something like that? Citrus?
Yeah.
Something citrusy. Was whatever.
Yeah, the emulator is called Citra. It's for 3DS.
Citra. Oh, Citra. Okay, it looked like it was like a
yeah.
citrusy.
So basically, it's for the 3DS stuff.
Wow. Yeah, that Nintendo's been one not to joke around, because I mean they still go after, like when you're trying to stream a game or whatever, they go after you too. So
yeah, that's been happening since the Wii U days. Because I remember a lot of people used to get DMCA'd over Mario Kart 8 because like they were playing the audio, they were playing the video, because it's a gaming stream. What the hell are you supposed to do? Right. And the worst part is, technically Nintendo wasn't at fault because it was the problem was YouTube's auto copyright system.
Yeah. They have issues there. But yeah, Nintendo. I mean, again, Nintendo has a place in America, but the thing of it is, it's a Japanese-based company, so their rules on fair use and all this stuff not the same as the U.S.'s. So you're going to have that trouble where they're going to say no, and obviously, of course, with the emulator stuff, right? With Citra and all that, that was. That's going to be a blow that's going to hurt them more, but they don't see it that way. They see it as protecting their stuff. So
yeah,
it's
because like Nintendo is not the best with keeping up with old IPs, because as much as I despise Disney, the one thing I do give them credit for is they know how to work around the public domain laws.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you have a touching IP, like the original IP for about what is it, like 50 years or something, it becomes public domain and somebody else can use it completely fine. Like 50, 75 years. I don't know the exact date.
Almost 100.
The issue with Nintendo.
Almost 100, because Mickey Mouse. Well, you think about Mickey Mouse, right? Like Mickey Mouse was almost.
Yeah, Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, it was almost 100.
Yeah, no, like with Nintendo, they don't like their people like people like me have been wanting a new Golden Sun title for years.
Mm-hmm.
The last game that came out was Dark Dawn for the DS in the mid 2000s. And then they just completely forgot about it until Matthew came around to Smash Trophy. And then they brought back the older Golden Sun titles for the Virtual Console on Nintendo Switch Online.
Jeez.
Which was fine. but that's paywalled. You're gonna paywall older games, and then Super Mario 3D All Stars comes out,
Mm.
and you know how they made it? With a goddamn emulator. They could have done the right thing and done a 3D remastery of Super Mario 64 because that's what they did for the DS version.
Mm.
Nope.
Well, you know what?
They just ported it. They ported it and used an emulator. They didn't even clean it up or anything, which is they downgraded a remake. At least Square Enix made it a sequel.
Yeah, they like it's like I said before with companies, right? Like they're trying to go for maximum profit, and remasters and remakes and all that stuff, they cost a lot of money. Well, you think of it this way, the new Final Fantasy VII, right? Final Fantasy VII uses UE5, which is Unreal Engine 5.
Yeah, I know. It's the same technology they use for Final Fantasy 15. That's how it started.
Yeah, but and don't get me wrong, when they came out with UE5, that was incredible. The way all the lighting and stuff worked, that was just bombastic in how it does stuff. But I mean, I think after a certain amount that's made by using UE5, they have to give a percentage back to Epic. But I mean, for what it's worth, it looks pretty good graphic wise. And no, it was UE4 for the first remake, and then I think for Rebirth they probably used UE5 because it came out during that time. But sheesh Louise, it looks great, but it's still expensive. It's still time consuming. Remakes. There's a game I would want remade, that's Skies of Arcadia, but I know they probably will never do it because it's either not profitable enough or this or that. And it's just like the original art creator for Skies of Arcadia has already gone and passed. And it's just like, just give me something so I can and put it on PC. If you could port it to PC, you'd have a better.
And that's not even my biggest criticism of Final Fantasy VII Remake because, they're sequels. They're all sequels to the Advent Children movie.
Yeah.
And when they didn't the only thing that's being remade is the timeline of events because it just all really ties to Sephiroth just being a little emo kid stuck in the closet.
Yeah, but he's powerful. He's a powerful.
Yes, but he's afraid. It's so the only way he destroys Nibelheim because he goes nuts.
Yeah, because his mom and all that stuff. But I mean, when you're that powerful, I mean, you might as well. So.
Oh no, the reason he destroyed Nibelheim was because he found out that he was pretty much a lab subject. That's how he was made.
Yeah,
Dr. Hojo created him in a lab.
Yeah, well, I don't know I never played the original game, and I don't think I'd ever go back to it just because the graphics alone would just whatever. But the story itself, I know, is pretty much different from the original. I've seen people do comparison videos and all that stuff, but I do believe that the trilogy is going to be a big moneymaker for them just because of the graphics. They've added bits and stuff to the story. I mean, like, I think the Rebirth one is like 40 hours long if you do everything. I'm not sure. I have to look that up.
Well, yeah, because like you took originally Final Fantasy VII, it's 2 discs on the PS1.
Yeah.
And now instead they're turning it into what looks like 3 titles.
Yeah, so it's trilogy. Yeah. Yeah.
Because technically, Final Fantasy VII Remake was disc 1.
Yes.
Final Fantasy, like the original Final Fantasy VII. The problem is because they added all these quests and everything, because they expanded the story by adding all this stuff.
Yeah.
They did make the game longer, yes, but they made the game longer.
Yes.
So.
And there's a reason for that.
It's
money.
Because it's not that, and it's not the same game. Because this is kind of a thing that Tetsuya Nomura likes to do. Because the compilation of FF7 has been his pet project for his entire time working at Square.
Wow.
That's why he did 2 phone games. Now
Okay.
three, now three, four,
Right.
because of Ever Crisis, and there was that god awful PUBG clone. The
Yeah.
first soldier, the first soldier sucked.
Oh wow.
Hmm. Though they did rework it in Ever Crisis. I haven't played it since the beta though.
Yeah. It for me. I've only I don't have PS5, so I've had to wait for like when they ported it to PC. So I'm really hoping because I think they only have it exclusive for PS5. This like the rebirth for like until May. But the thing of it is right, like I get why they do the exclusivity because PlayStation is probably paying for it. But the thing of it is right, it's like if you put it on PC as well, you're going to expand that growth of profit because
Mhm.
people want to play it. I know it's like whatever the reason for going exclusive right now, but when they see it, they want to play it, and it's sort of like a waiting game for PC players because you can't. You gotta
Well,
wait
yeah,
until that.
that inherently ties back to the whole problem with not broadening your 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 market. You
Mm,
know,
yeah,
you're keeping a selected market. This is why the console wars have been virtually meaningless.
yeah,
Sure, you can be a fanboy for Xbox, Sony, or for some reason Nintendo. Like I've been a Nintendo gamer all my life, and I've never understood the idea of the console wars
yeah,
because I've always just been there's like, oh cool, there's people fighting over stuff. But what's that
yeah,
Nintendo thing doing?
yeah. Well, and they have their exclusive like at games. Like you're never gonna see a Zelda out in the wild. You're never gonna see Pokemon, maybe, but that's iffy. But
Yeah, they already got them on mobile, so technically they're already on PC with
yeah, that's
emulators.
Pokemon Go. Yeah, Pokemon Go, and I believe there's a Mario game on mobile too. So that I guess they have that. But the thing of it is, right, is you'll never see Mario on Steam, right? You'll never see Mario there because that's their IP or whatever. But it's like when it comes to the consoles are stuck to whatever they put into them. With a PC, you can upgrade, you can get more power, or whatever, and that's what's going to be the difference between the console wars and the PC outdoing them all, right? Like I don't have like super specs, but I have enough
Yeah,
specs that I can play games at least. I can play I
yeah,
can at least
yeah.
play the remake.
To an extent, the whole idea of even a PC console conflict is still rather it's still rather confusing. It's still rather just why bother wasting the energy on the debate because you're obsessing over two versions of methods to play games.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously.
It's yeah, it's just like sure PC Master Race, cool.
I want to go that far, but
I'm not gonna watch an hour on that though.
yeah.
Because I've seen I've seen people fanboying over Xbox exclusives over the years. I've seen people with the whole Sony stuff, Nintendo.
Mhm.
I just don't care. I used to play mobile titles. I still play mobile titles. I've played some very popular mobile titles over the years. Near Reincarnation is still on my phone. It's about to go out of service.
Wow.
Uh, Octopath Traveler Champions of the Continent is still on my phone. I don't know how long that has left.
Yeah,
But like
that's
like I've always been drawn to Square Enix titles for some reason. I used to play Mobius Final Fantasy
mm,
before they went out of service.
yeah. The one series I do like that they Square Enix did give was the Crystal Chronicles. Because they were I don't remember when the first one came out, but that came out and that was sort of an enjoyable game to play because it still had elements, but it was far off of what the Final Fantasy series was. And then they had like the second one, which was Crystal Bears, but then they just kind of stopped at that. There was
Yeah,
a
then they brought all the characters back for the CDM.
yeah, I haven't followed that far, but it's sort of like there are games you want to be remade or remastered, and they either don't have the money or too stubborn or whatever, and you're just like, why not? You know, if I could,
Well, it's
if
either that or they live on in other titles. So like the CD Final Fantasy Opera Omnia is
mm,
another one of those crossover titles like FFRK where they just brought in characters
mm,
from like older titles. Like there's
yeah,
characters I didn't even know existed, like the ones from Final Fantasy Dimensions, Crystal Chronicles.
yeah,
It, it, the first time I saw these characters, I was like, did I play that game? Like, how many games are in the Final Fantasy franchise? Why are there almost 100?
Yeah, no, there's a
There's only
lot.
16 named titles. How are there over almost 100 games?
Well, if you think about Final Fantasy VII, there's like so many splits off that, like the Ever Crisis, and then you have the Cerberus or whatever, Vincent Valentine. You
So,
have the Advent of Children, whatever that was. It's a lot.
so yeah, Advent Children's the movie. So if I
Okay.
remember right, it's before Crisis,
Mm-hmm.
Crisis Core,
Mm-hmm.
then Final Fantasy VII,
Mm-hmm.
then there's um,
The Cerberus Dirge or whatever it is with Vincent Valentine. I think that's one of them.
Advent Children takes place before that.
Okay.
Then it's Dirge of Cerberus, and then there's
Mm-hmm.
another mobile game that's a crossover in there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Advent Children spins off into Remake, then goes Rebirth, and potentially what I am calling now Final Fantasy VII Reunion.
No, it's most likely going to be called that because that's the whole point of like, because he says homecoming and then he says reunion, and I think that's going to be interesting how they'll play that part out because we've already gotten past the point of um oh is it, are you being told to get off now?
No, no, it's
Family.
definitely needs some not at all.
Oh, so but yeah, no, I'm still waiting to play it. I know people have their differences about it, but it's um it's going to be interesting to see how the last one will go, and uh how they'll finally end it because they've already stated it's going to be 3, so they can't go beyond. They'll probably try to go
I
beyond it,
don't
but
buy it. I don't buy it. Because
yeah,
they keep remember at the end of Dirge of Cerberus where Genesis Rhapsodus rises up from the grave.
I've never played it, so I only know it because it's been mentioned, but I've
Because
never played it.
because they're like people because like there's obviously a time travel element here. There's multiple dimensions or something. Like I don't.
Multiple universes, yeah.
They they, they really chose the MCU path, which is what I don't understand.
I think the they're trying to do the best of both worlds. They're trying to bring people in and they're trying to supplant the people who have already played the original. Like, I mean, Aerith still dies, but there's now this multiversal level where maybe in another world she didn't. And I think, because there's been years and years where people are like they're sad of Aerith's death, and of course you have the people who kind of ship characters together or whatever. Um, but it's just one of those things where I think they're just trying to supplant both parties, and how it will end, I don't know. And
It,
the money,
it,
the money is going to be the talker out of all of this. The money is going to be the one thing that's going to be the true judge. And if they make a lot of it, then we know. Then we
yeah,
know.
because I've already seen the Yellow Flash coverage of it. Apparently, it didn't sell well.
I'll have to look it up because I don't know. Again,
But
because
we're still in the first couple weeks, right? Like, so I mean, we won't see how well this thing sells until after about a month.
yeah, we won't see it how well it sells until it gets to the PC part, right? Because this is an exclusive. It's just PS5 exclusive, which has its PS5 has its own issues. But once it gets to PC, that'll be the defining touch of how much it will be sold. Because if it gets sold more through PC, the money is king, and we'll see, and you'll just see how it goes. So that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, because
Um,
at some point they might need to do Final Fantasy 15 over again because there's the Final Fantasy 15 team had multiple issues. The
mm,
most notable one,
mm,
there's an ending where Noctis survives.
interesting.
Like he lives. He doesn't
Mm,
die after like going on the throne or anything.
mm,
You know, Noctis survives. Lunafreya survives, and they actually get married.
mm,
The problem is that's in a book that never got into DLC because Hajime Tabata and the FF15 team
mm,
they were having trouble with the DLC by themselves because like Tabata wanted to keep doing more and more content, and that's
mm,
why we had episode Prompto, episode Ignis, episode Gladiolus,
mm,
episode Arin because like we never got episode Noctis.
mm.
So I mean, it just never came around because that's why they stuck with the ending they did, not just trapped in that damn crystal for about 10 years.
Yeah, I don't know too. I haven't played those other games, although it kind of looks interesting too. But I've just kind of been stuck in this small arena of the Final Fantasy lineup. But that's I'm busy. I have so many games on Steam. It's not even funny. So Steam's been a crack addition after a while.
Oh yeah, I've been playing through some of the Mega 10 titles. So like because Shin Megami Tensei 5 is about to get a remaster coming out. But I don't know if I'm going to buy it because like I bought SMT 5 when it came out like a year or two ago, and I'm still playing through it because they brought in the Demi fiend from SMT 3 as a super boss. Yeah, he is. They managed to top their previous super bosses by making him far more deadly and far more unpredictable because it was already bad enough when it was just, you have 10 turns to kill this thing in SMT 4. Now, it's, you better have your stats maxed the fuck out, or you're just gonna get nuked on turn 1.
Jeez.
Better hope that Pixie doesn't stay alive. Otherwise, remember those demons you just killed? Yeah, they're back.
It's crazy.
No, the gimmick behind that is like there's a Pixie at the start of SMT 3. You can carry it with you through the entire game without using it, and it can just, the moment it hits level 99, its stats just skyrocket.
Jeez. That just sounds like you're not made to win at all. So.
Oh no! Like SMT 5 has some gimmicks, mechanics, and everything. So it's just a pain.
I don't doubt it. I believe it because some game developers like to do that. Just like make things a pain or.
No! I've been an Atlas customer for over 10 years. I still play the Entry Nazi titles. I'm more than well aware of how much they like to screw people over with boss fights.
Jeez. Oh well, man. But all right. Well, anyway, I'm certainly getting the phone call that you have to be quieter now. But we'll end it here for right now. But thank you for coming out, Crash. I know that we had the technical stuff earlier and all that stuff. So, but I appreciate your patience and all that. So, and I appreciate everyone in the audience still. At least on the Rumble side, having patience. So I will be uploading this once it's done processing. I'll upload on YouTube so that it can be both ends. But yeah, you're always welcome back, Crash. There's never not time where there's nothing else to discuss. There's so much more. So
don't worry, I won't forget these next time.
Yeah. So I hope you're able to at least one day have your own setup so that you can do your own stuff because I know you've talked about wanting to get doing more. So. But yeah, no, you're always welcome back, and be looking forward to those in the chat. Be looking forward to Friday. I don't have anything tomorrow because I'm giving myself a break because I have something Saturday. So, but Friday I will have my usual pay it forward stream, but I also will be having on a lady. Her username is Libertarian Goth, and she will be on at 8 p.m. Eastern. So, oh, I think you froze. Oh, he's gone. He's gone. All right. Well, I guess it's just me. But anyway, thank you, Crash, for coming on, and thank you all for coming in the stream. I know it's just been technical difficulties. Definitely come back. No, not a problem. Glad you were here. So, but yeah, I'm going to play the ending. Oh yeah. Hold on, I gotta pull it up. Definitely will invite you back. You're always welcome. So hopefully next time on Friday things won't go as bad or we won't have as much issues. But yeah. So anyway, see you guys next time. Going to play the outro video and then end the stream. So give me 1 second. So if I don't, I'm gonna say goodbye now and then play the video and then we'll end the stream. Because I was like play the video and then like bye and then whatever, but no. I'll say bye now, play the video, And I hope you guys have a great night. Don't forget, Friday, the Pay It Forward stream, 7 p.m. Eastern. And then I will be on with Libertarian Goth at 8 p.m. Eastern. And Gek, or Geyck, is going to join me for the Pay It Forward stream. And then, of course, it will just be me and Libertarian Goth. So I will see you guys Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I hope you have a lovely evening. So here you go. One Day With You by Pogo. Thank you, guys. See you next time.